Pit is essential during your competition weekends. Pit is a 10 by foot area dedicated for your team to work on your robot during competition weekends. Your pit will consist of a tent setup, workbenches, toolboxes, shelves, your robot, and your robot cart, along with anything else you can fit in along with the 6 pit crew people. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is a lot of stuff to fit in such a small space, and yeah, it is. But that's the point. This forces teams to be as organized as possible and to have a completed robot, because the point of Pit is to not continue building on an unfinished robot. The point of Pit is to do repairs, change bumpers, and adjust code on your completely finished robot.
Let's talk about pit crew. There are 6 people allowed in the pit at any given time. Since it's such a small confined space in a high-stress environment, pit crew members will swap out every hour or so. If you want to be allowed in the pit, safety glasses are an absolute must. If you can't find any, talk to the safety captain. The most important member of pit crew is the safety captain. The safety captain is going to be the one member in the pit who is making sure that everyone is staying safe, using their safety glasses, that there are not more than 6 people, generally making it a safe space. They'll also be available to answer safety questions. If there is no safety captain in the pit is closed. There are no exceptions to this. Without a safety captain, no work can be done, no one is allowed in the pit. The safety captain will be the first person to enter the pit and the last person to leave it.
Next we have Pit Captain, and Pit Captain needs to be keeping tabs on literally everybody. They need to know who's working on the robot, who needs to work on it most urgently, what the schedule is, what everybody is doing at the time when they're in the pit, and they also need to know what color the bumpers need to be for our next match. And seriously guys, bumpers are super important, so don't underestimate them. On top of all this, the Pit Captain keeps track of the schedule and who needs to be where when. This is super important because the point of a schedule is to keep everybody's mental health and stress in check. This is honestly a big issue in pit because it can get pretty stressful sometimes, and we really need to keep tabs on everyone, keep everybody healthy. In addition to the 2 pit captains, we also have a programmer and about 3 build and control people. So these 4 people are actually the ones who make the most adjustments on the robot and actually do most of the fixing. These are the ones who make sure the bumpers are reattached and who also make sure that every part of the robot is secured and where it's supposed to be, especially the bumpers. Because if our bumpers fall off during a match, the robot is actually completely shut down and we're disqualified from that match. Our robot is not allowed to compete in that match anymore. This just can't happen, buddy. It just can't, because it's super embarrassing.
Speaking of stress, the pit is an extremely high pressure environment. Sometimes your team will get an hour between matches, sometimes 30 minutes, but most of the time, it'll be less than 15. Those 15 minutes are going to involve a variety of tasks. It'll involve the drive team bringing the robot back from the field, addressing issues that came up in the match, fixing the robot physically as needed, updating the code as needed, swapping bumpers if you're going to be on the other color team for the next match, and finally, rushing the robot back out to queue in time for the next match. This all has to happen very fast, and that's why shifts are important, so that we can keep up in tip-top shape in order to react fast when we need to. I don't know about you, but at this point, I'm feeling pretty confident that you and the rest of the team know the do's and don'ts of our team's pit. You know just as much as we do now. So get out there and run a pit so efficient that it knocks the judges' socks off.